Okay, so I know we threw a lot at you and then we played a really confusing game. Does anybody have any questions before we go? Go ahead, Ozzy.
Yeah, a common thing that always happened last year was that family members would have their own conversations in the table. And I know we're spending more time at the tables now, not like last year, 10 minutes. But how do we go about making sure that we're not like executing?
I would try to listen to their conversation, and if there's anything they say that you can sneak in, so if they're talking about how they're really afraid that their student is going to do bad on a test, they know that you're at the table, so I don't think it would be rude of you to say, oh, you know, I went to the Academic Success Center when I was really worried about a test. Does that make sense? So if you hear them having a side conversation and you realize that you finished your dinner and you no longer have anything to do, you can go ahead and just try to weasel your way into their conversation in a nice way. Because if you open it up with some helpful information, like you went to the Academic Success Center or you went to your professor's office hours, or you just have helpful facts about the MSC or the annex or the library, as long as you're kind of giving them a resource base, you're going to catch their attention. Do we have any other questions? Don't be shy. Yeah.
Well, just a comment based on what you said, because when that comes to mind about them bringing up a situation like that, it might be also that they're afraid to ask you maybe. So doing that kind of maybe will help open up questions as well.
Definitely. Some family members are a little more forthcoming and some of them are a little shy. So it depends. You'll get a feel for your table when you sit down, but you're the social butterfly. Don't be scared. If they want to talk to you, sometimes you just kind of have to draw it out of them. Any more questions?
I know this happened to me a couple of times. I had a table that wouldn't say anything at all. So that was really awkward, where you just sit there and listen to them chew. So it's kind of your job as the table OL to really kind of start up some form of a conversation, even if it's just, hey, where are you from? You know, what is your student's major? And then that'll usually get them talking, because then if they start thinking about it, they'll be like, oh, wait, I did have a question that wasn't answered. And if they just don't talk, then start talking about your dog or something to get them talking to you, because it's so awkward to sit there and just listen to them chew. It really is. So just try to talk to them about something. The weather is always nice. Yeah, talk about where they're from, anything. So just a little side note.
Any last questions? Go ahead. Yes, definitely. So when you go to your table and the family members are already seated, I would highly recommend that you sit down and introduce yourself. They're going to see your uniform, but you want to make sure to tell them that you are an orientation leader. You are here for them. You can do your howdy intro if you want to be really cute. You can just say your name, whatever. There's going to be a lot of whooping and hollering because we do howdy intros when we say, hi, welcome to Family Track. So you'll have a chance to whoop and holler too. And also, something I thought of when Allie was telling you her story, if you realize they're not talking to you, it really helps to try to find something you might have in common with their student, and that'll get them talking. So normally I would just talk about hobbies and stuff until I hit my gold line. Go ahead.
So we have requirements for student track. If you're doing family track, does that count towards student track stuff, or no?
Student track is separate from family track, so you would have to do 5 student tracks and 4 family tracks throughout the summer. Any more questions? All right, okay, we're going to go ahead and let you go, and we're going to have Rashard and Melissa? Yes?
Yeah! Squad! Squad!
Yes, you do need the microphone.
Howdy!
Howdy!
So we're here today to talk to you about unique populations and athletics.
Oh, okay, so unique.
Sports passes. To visit your Sports Pass website, you can go to mysportspass.canada.edu, and options will not be available until summer, so I have to wait on that. So just tell them to check the website for pricing. You can pick up your Sports Pass in the athletic ticketing office, and you can only do that after they've had their student ID made. So if they're asking you where that is, check and make sure that they've had their student ID made. And you have to purchase a new sports pass plan every year, but you can use the same card. So you don't have to like go pick up a new one. And that's what sports pass will look
Pulling football tickets. So tickets are distributed based on classification. So on Mondays, seniors are able to pull. Tuesdays, juniors, and so on and so forth. On Friday, any unclaimed tickets are available to students without a sports pass at face value. Students are allowed to pull tickets with others of different classifications, but you have to make sure that the majority of the sports passes are of upper level. Otherwise, you will have to wait and pull on the next day. And that can kind of suck if you're out there waiting since like 5 in the morning or something. Student ID of the person that is pulling is required, so you only need their ID, and the person that's pulling for you only needs all of your sports passes. So also, if you're pulling pulling a sports pass as a guest ticket, that guest ticket will count towards a lower classification. So just keep that in mind. If you get any questions about that, they probably won't know about that yet, but just a fun fact. So make sure that encourage them to go out there and meet new people so they can buddy up with someone and don't have to look like this guy standing in line all Wednesday whenever they're at school.
So the 12th Land Foundation, again, there's a website right there. And tickets for away games are sold through the 12th Land Foundation, and the dates and the pricing will be available when the season begins. So you have to wait on that. And any family member who's interested in purchasing a season ticket can go to the 12th Land Foundation and check that out. So honors and undergraduate research is another topic we're talking about, and you can always go to hur.mingling.edu. And any student at A&M can apply for a capstone project. It doesn't matter if you're actually in honors or not, you can apply, and you can go to that website. And it will be completed under the guidance of a faculty member here. And you can also, any student, even people not in honors, again, can submit material for publication in the journal we have here, which is Explorations, the Texas A&M Undergraduate Journal. Fancy. So anybody can submit material to that, and it's also overseen by faculty here. So the qualifications for applying for honors, you need a 3.5 cumulative GPR, and you have to apply between December 1st and January 1st if you have 60 hours. Incoming freshmen will have already applied if they wanted to, and they should know if they've been accepted by the time they come. And if they say I applied, I got in, but they don't have notification that they actually did get in, just send them to Henderson Hall. It's 114 Henderson Hall, or to call that number, and they can get that all sorted out. Also, transfer students who want to become part of honors apply the same way as continuing students. So the benefits of being in honors: you can be in smaller classes, so you can have 20 or 30 instead of 200 or 300 students. You can participate in published research. You have scholarship opportunities that other people might not have, and you can also live in Lechner or McFadden, which is the living and learning of honors. And the best thing, you get priority registration, so they register before everybody else does, and they also get special recognition at their graduation.
So now we're going to talk about.
I'm honored, so I can say it.
So now we're going to talk about Gateway. So they have a special new student conference during June 18th and 19th. So you will also see a lot of Gateway staff at their new student conference. They're in pretty noticeable colors. So if they have any specific questions about the program, please feel free to send them to them. The Gateway is a summer provisional admissions program through the Transition Academic Program Unit. So requirements: they must complete 2 summer courses and also an hour academic engagement course with a 2.0 GPA or higher, and they must attend mandatory Gateway weekly seminars and occasional summer events, and they must not commit scholastic dishonesty. They can apply for fish camp, however. They will just have to apply for one of the later sessions after their grades from the fall, after the grades from the summer have come in. So then once they get those grades in, and if they have that 2.0 or above, then they are into A&M, so happy.
So during the summer, you'll also see a lot of people on Blend Team, and they're allowed to attend any new student conference, but they also have to attend a Blend orientation, which we are not part of. And you will know them because their major on the back of their name tag will say team. And they, usually what they do is they'll take one course this semester here and all of their courses at Blend. And then they can earn full admission to A&M after their 2-year program if they've met all the qualifications, which is 60 hours, 3.0, and if they don't get in that way, they can also compete like everybody else as a transfer student to get into A&M, or if they're not admitted by either of those, they can apply for like readmission after their program. And they're encouraged to participate in every like aspect of Aggie life, so they can go to sporting events, they can do student activities, they can be in clubs, they can have all the fun that we do. The only thing they can't really do is they can't participate in NCAA varsity sports here at A&M.
Oh, and then they're a team now, so. So now we're going to talk about engineering. Engineers are required to purchase a computer in order to complement their course. They can purchase the HP ZBook 14, the Dell Latitude 7440, or an Apple MacBook Pro 13-inch. More information is available on the website engineering.tamil.edu, so always feel free to redirect them to that website if you have any questions about that. Benefits, there is a 4-year maintenance agreement to accommodate students' computer needs, so all that stuff is already covered. A lot of it will come at a cheaper price than buying it somewhere else because they will also include all the programs that they will need throughout their time here at A&M. And if they have any questions with software, they can email engr-boy-helpdesk@tamil.edu, or more conveniently go visit them in the Civil Lab building, room 314. There will be an engineering-specific conference this year, July 1st through July 2nd. Engineering students can attend any new student conference, but there is just going to be this one very large one where it's just dedicated to them as students.
And we also have a lot of support for unique populations here. So we have the GLBT Resource Center, which is in Kane Hall. We have the Department of Multicultural Services, which is the MSC. We have the Women's Resource Center, which will do presentations and workshops, and they are also in Kane Hall.
And they have just relocated back down to the first floor. In your OL manuals, they were originally on the second floor, but
There's also International Student Services, which is in the Dell. And we have Disability Services, which is also located in Kane Hall. So if anybody asks for one of those, send them to me.
so one thing to remember is that remember to use inclusive language whenever you're dealing with people of unique populations. Even though they may not have been traditionally accepted into A&M, as most of us were, they are still a very important and beneficial part of this community, and they are just among the brightest and the smartest as any of us. And we should be great that our university is opening up so many ways for other students to come and experience a great time here. So now we're going to go into takeaways. So what I'm going to do is explain the process really quickly. You're going to take out your cell phone, and then you're going to open up your Messages app, and in your Messages app, you're going to text the message to 22333, and in the bottom, like,
Nobody's that far yet.
The number's still up there.
to 22333, and in the actual message block, you're going to type 6770. You're going to press a space, and then you're going to type what you took away from this message, from this presentation. So after you do that, it will pop up on a poll everywhere jumbo screen, and it's like the more that people say the same thing, or it'll just pop up everyone's stuff. So everyone is important. So kind of stuff like that. Most definitely remember to keep it AO appropriate. Please, nothing inappropriate.
Also, we suggest you use like 1 or 2 word answers, and then just like if you have a whole bunch of takeaways, which would be awesome, just like send a whole bunch of different messages with like each individual takeaway.
Yes, 6770.
I'm just gonna put island. Do we put spaces or do we just?
So we have inclusive.
I like turtles.
People, tons of diversity, most definitely. Welcome everyone. You want to make sure that you're exhibiting an open and welcome environment for all the new students. You are kind, you are important. Unique is cool. Everyone is important. Research, of course.
Whole is cool and no longer
Remember special populations. Include anyone. Definitely inclusive language. I'm really glad that that was taken upon yourself. So you see, a majority of people said that. So.
It's like whole is cool.
It's already reached the maximum. Means that's it. Nobody's
Yeah, I didn't think
AOL program.
Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns?
Oh,
Do we want
get
that
it.
Howdy.
I just got one comment. Just be careful where you throw around if a laptop is required or not, because engineers, obviously everyone knows are required, but the College of, or the Department of Construction Science and the College of Architecture also requires their incoming freshmen to have laptops. Since that's a big money thing, it costs like $1,000, don't just say only engineers, because construction science also requires it. Anyone else?
Just a note about sports passes. I know that I was a junior senior. I was a junior by my degree plan, and I was a senior by incoming transfer hours. So if they have questions about that, just let them know that it's by hours too.
That is a good thing to know.
So I got to pull on
how many
Mondays.
hours that you have, not based on how many years you have been.
Do some organizations like pull on Mondays, even if they're like a freshman?
Large groups can pull on Mondays, so I think you need 10 or more people.
Yeah, I was wondering about
Like
that.
a
And so in excess of in excess of 10 people, you can do what's called group pull, and there will be a separate ticket window for you. So all you do is go there, but be aware that you will automatically be put on third deck on a first come first served basis. Anyone else? All right.
Can I get another kid?
That's it.
So cute. Yeah, blue.
Okay, guys, we're going to learn about customer service from Kaylin and Will next. Yay!
Serving customers. Your friendly neighborhood.
Howdy.
Howdy.
So like Brittany said, we're going to be teaching you how customer service applies to AOLP. And throughout our presentation, we're going to be putting up the title or heading of each slide and then get some responses from y'all, like 2 or 3. So just so y'all know that's coming up. All right, first, and we're tying this whole thing back to how it applies to our mission statement. And this is our mission. The Aggie Orientation Leader Program strives to continually connect new students to Texas A&M by personally supporting, serving, and using all available resources to help ease the transition for them and their families.
Okay, so this is one of the feedback things Will told you, so we're going to get a little feedback from y'all. How do you think customer service applies to AOLP? Jenny?
I know I worked at Chick-fil-A for 6 years, so you definitely want to have a smile all the time and try to help them as much as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Craig?
Applies to AOP because the customers are the students and the family members who we deal with all the time.
Right. John?
AOLP is the first face that most of these families see at Texas A&M.
Absolutely. I saw another hand in this general vicinity.
Okay, yeah, all of those answers were correct. So yes, our customers are the family members and the new students. So what we do is for them, and then the employees are y'all, all of your wonderful little humans. So some of the things that we really encourage y'all to do to best serve our customers, the new students and their family members, is to know the conference types, so know whether it's a hybrid conference, a freshman conference, or a transfer conference. Don't assume that someone is a family member or a student, because that can come across as really mean sometimes. So, and also know the schedule. It's really important because you'll have people come up to you and they're like, I know I have to be somewhere at such and such time, but I don't know where. So it's really important that you know where right then and don't have to go digging around for the schedule, otherwise they're just going to get very frustrated with you. And also know the program. So each program has different requirements and we ask different things of you, so it's really important to know what your responsibilities are at that program. And then always keep the mission in mind. It's really important. It's not just there for nothing. It has a purpose.
Okay, and how can y'all be the awesomest OL in your responses?
Use inclusive language.
Yes, use inclusive language. That's always good.
AOLP appropriate.
Yes, definitely be AOP appropriate.
Always be friendly and be in red.
I'll say always be friendly, yes.
Red ass.
There you go. Was another hand?
Know your products well, be knowledgeable.
Yes, that's always good. Okay, so we'll go through what we have up here. Okay, always say howdy with a smile. Like, be welcoming, be friendly, because like John said earlier, is like we're the first face that they see at A&M for a lot of them. So always be welcoming. No cell phones during programs unless it's an emergency. So just always keep it on silent in your pocket or leave it in like your car or something, but we know that usually doesn't happen, so just keep it in your pocket. So yeah, don't be on your phone. Always go the extra mile. It really is like the little things that you do, they really make a difference. Like, don't just direct someone to a building, like walk them there if you have the time, like if you're not rushing somewhere. Because they always really appreciate just doing like a little bit extra stuff than what they originally asked for. And then, like I said, use appropriate language, which includes inclusive language. Clean and proper uniform. So, you know, we're the face of A&M, we're representing Texas A&M and AOLP. We want to make sure that we're like giving off a good image and that we have it all together. And also, don't take things personally, because sometimes people will be like frustrated or I don't know, upset about something going on. Might just be the weather. I know they don't realize Texas is hot. But just don't take things personally. Rarely will they be mad at you. It's usually mad at the situation. And even if they are mad at you, you aren't going to see them very long. So try not to take it personally.
Okay, so this is another we want your response. So don't make me stand up here without any hands raised. So what types of customers do you think you'll see at the new student conferences?
Old ag.
Old ags, yes, that is definitely one that you will see. Yes. I'm sorry to hear. First generation Aggies, yes, Joshua. Helicopter parents, yes. Please don't call them that to their face. They might get angry with you. Okay, I saw another hand over here. Daniel. Skeptical, yes.
Super excited parents.
Yes. Eddie.
The lost parent.
The lost parent. Yes. You and your hand.
Super confused.
Yes.
Non-traditional students.
Non-traditional.
You're too cool for this student.
Well, yeah. Rebecca.
Super stressed out students.
Yes. Richard.
Haven't had their coffee, parents.
Literally more than you think. Greg, did you have your hand up?
Constant texter.
Yes, that is very true as well. Shelby.
The super stressed out students.
Super stressed out student. Yes, that is also a great comment, John.
Scamming family members or students?
Hopefully you won't ever have to deal with that. Yes, so these are all people you will encounter at your new student conferences. But for these purposes, we decided we were just going to break them down into different categories. So we have the average customer, and this is mostly what you'll see at new student conferences. We like to prepare you for the worst, just in case that person decides that they want to pop up at the new student conferences. But the majority of these people will be average. They won't be mad, they won't be upset, they won't be scamming, they won't be stressed out. They're just going to be there, and you're just going to help them, and it's going to be great. Then you'll have the upset customer. This also includes stressed out, helicopter parents. It's just kind of very broad. And so you're just going to want to treat them with a careful hand because they can sometimes break down. I've had that happen. And you'll have the irate customer. This is just one of those things that happens. They just are stressed out and or they haven't had their coffee. So, and then the last one is, or not the last one, sorry, customer in a hurry. This is very common as well. And then the last one is the customer who wants to socialize. This person just wants to talk to you, and that's wonderful, but sometimes there are people around you that have questions that need to be answered. So maybe just like push them where they need to go or have someone else talk to them. They're just like, you're cool and I just want to talk to you all the time, which is great, but we do have things to do as well.
Then we have a short video for y'all.
It's up there? Okay.
Can't hear.
Notice that we can make a difference for people. Like when they come by, they leave in a better mood. And a lot of people have told us that we made their day.
A customer came up to me and said it was the best fish they'd ever had. Something happened to me and I realized I was making people happy. Give me a big hug. This gave me a plus in my life. And I love serving the people now. Cheers, thank you.
The fish philosophy is about engaging people and creating positive change in their workplaces and home life.
Too much coffee! Too much coffee!
You know, are you being, this is a lousy stinking job, or are you being, oh, we're just selling fish, or are you being, you know, world famous? You know, you're going to do something differently when you're being world famous than you are if you're being impatient.
The fish philosophy embodies an entire way of life. It's been translated into 14 languages, and it's created positive change in thousands of small businesses, classrooms, Fortune 500 companies, and homes around the world.
You don't have to throw fish. You just have to have the energy. You have to have the commitment. You have to have fun. You have to have fun at work.
Like most people who visit the Pike Place Fish Market for the first time, I was drawn in by the excitement, the fun, the creativity, the playfulness of the fishmongers. But the longer I spent at the market, the more I saw the playfulness didn't just come from their actions, say like throwing the fish. It came from the spirit of the people working there.
That teacher knows that this is the place to come to where they can turn that feeling around.
Sure, I could stay home and eat bonbons, but I'd be by myself. I'm going to go to work and be with people who I like.
It's about communication. It's about being there.
Conversation is essential. I think it's how we make sense of our world.
this video. It comes from the Workplace Management System.
I didn't know the slideshow had sound too.
Okay, so here are just a few takeaways from the fish philosophy video. That was just a summary of it. There's like a longer video out there, but just like some of their like philosophies. Yeah. So play, like have fun at work or like at conferences. Even though we want you to do like a good job and everything, like we want you to have fun as well, and that's like important. And if you're having fun, then the new students and family members will be having more fun as well. Make their day. This is kind of the like go the extra mile type thing, and always be really friendly. If you're just like sulking around and stuff, like no one's gonna want to talk to you. But if you're being like friendly, you have a smile on your face, you go up and say hi to people, like they're gonna want to talk to you also. Yeah, just make their day. Be there, and by that we mean be present. Don't be on your phone. Don't be kind of daydreaming the whole time. Be present in the situation, be like attentive to students' needs and family member needs, and like if the program coordinator needs to do anything, like just kind of be present in the moment. And choose your attitude. This is basically leave your problems at the door. So like even if you've had like a bad day or like you're just not really in the mood, you can still choose your attitude. You can still choose to be like upbeat and like excited about being there, even if you don't feel that way on the inside. Try to project that. And I mean, like we understand if like you've had just a terrible day and like you feel like you can't like be positive at a program, and like always talk to the coordinator or anything if that's the case. But yeah, you can pretty much always like choose to be in a good mood, at least outwardly. And fish.
Okay, so what did y'all take away from this presentation? Okay, besides fish. That's a really cute picture of fish. Eddie.
Always create an environment, a positive environment that can spread, and also create more positive environment.
Right, so create a positive environment that can influence and create another positive environment. So like if you're talking to a student or a family member who's super stressed out, like be positive, and hopefully your positivity will rub off on them and make them feel more secure in their decisions that they're making at their new student conference, because they're not small decisions. Some of them are pretty big decisions. So hopefully you can help them with that. Anybody else? Eddie again.
Always try to include as many people as you can to make sure they're not left out or anything.
Right, include as many people as you can. That is always good as well. Savvy.
We're not just there to do our job, we're there to do more than our job.
Right, so like she's just reiterating, go the extra mile. Like, yeah, we're there to help them, but we're also there to be there for them as well. So it's good to do the extra mile. Garrett.
Have fun. They said to have fun, like if you're going to do something, make sure you're enjoying it. Pretty sure that's what our very students like to do. So just have fun while you're
Yeah, have fun. You're here because you wanted to be a part of this organization, and we're so happy that you're here. So we want you to have fun and enjoy it. I saw other hands, Chase.
Not just be there for
Right, so don't just be there physically. Well, we appreciate that you're there physically. Also be there mentally and be involved and be helpful. Jenny.
To encompass all of this idea, be an Aggie. I mean, we want to show them what it's like to be an Aggie, right?
Right, absolutely. So encompass all of the core values that we have and be an Aggie. Yeah, absolutely. Did anybody else take anything else away from this presentation? Okay. So one of the things we have is you're encouraged to have fun and let your personality shine through. Like we've told you before, we chose you for a reason, and so we want you to be who you are. We loved who you were, so we want the new students and the family members to as well. The small things make a huge difference. Just walking, like Will said, walking someone to where they want to go, like that can be like that person's like favorite part of the day. Be focused on the new students and family members' needs. This kind of goes with the whole choose your attitude, make their day kind of stuff that we talked about. And even if you've had a bad day, leave it at the door. We all have bad days, it happens. So it's important to be able to just put that aside and focus on what you're there to do. Be prepared to deal with upset people. As rare as that happens sometimes, it will happen occasionally. And don't take things personally. I don't know if any of y'all remember your new student conference, but it is super stressful. So don't think, oh, this person hates me. I just met them and they hate me. No, they don't hate you. It's probably that they're super stressed out. So.
And we're just wanted to tie it back to the mission statement, and I don't know if y'all can see it, but we kind of highlighted the parts of it that we think really tie back to this whole thing about customer service. It's like connecting new students, supporting, serving, and using all available resources, and easing the transition for the students and family members. So yeah, and like I said before, always keep the mission statement in mind. That's just a good thing to think about whenever you're at programs, especially in front of new students and family members. And what questions do you have?
Who thinks they're better prepared for customer service?
6 years of AAA.
All right, thanks y'all. Y'all are gonna be awesome.
Okay. As promised, the Mingling presentation brought to you by Taylor and Shannon. Woo, so excited! I'm gonna learn how to talk to people.
Wait, not Shannon.
All right, y'all. So today, what we're going to do, we're going to talk to you all about mingling, or otherwise known as how to be a social butterfly.
So what is mingling? Mingling is basically holding a conversation with people who are not your besties. And if you can't read this, it's funny.
So why is mingling important, especially in an AOP setting? So unfortunately, like we just said, all the new students and your family members, they're not your best friends. So it's important to be able to interact and converse with them on an appropriate level. It also creates a welcoming environment for all the new students and their family members. Just being able to talk to them and get to know them without creeping them out, that's important. And it avoids awkward situations and conversations.
Okay, so mingling with students. Always remember that we're a resource for the new students. You're there to be that resource for them. So be relatable. Remember that you were once in their shoes. Don't be too stressed out about that. They're in this new place, having to go and meet all these new people and do all these new things at A&M. And your job is just to be there, walk up to them, be relatable. And here's some good go-to topics to get that mingling started. So good ones are always their hometown, where they're from, what their major is here at A&M, how their trip was, wherever they came from, the sports, obviously at A&M, if they're getting sports pass, if they're excited for that, depending on where they're from, maybe you know something about sports where they're from. And then obviously our wonderful summer weather. It's so great. They're probably going to be not so happy about it, but it's fun to talk about.
And so mingling with family members is a little bit different. You're basically still going to be a resource, but it's going to be more serious topics. So whereas the students might just be asking about how to get involved, the family members may be asking about how to improve their grades or something like that. Or they could be talking about like how to deal with how your student going off to school. So the best thing to do is just make them feel comfortable. Remember, like Courtney has mentioned multiple times, be professional and be polite. Some go-to topics are basically the same thing. Hometown, trip to College Station, they love to talk about their trip because it's awesome. Some questions you can ask them is if this is their first student at A&M or at Mingling College. And then especially ask them if they have any questions because they most likely do have questions.
Great. So some do's and don'ts of mingling. First of all, we want you to be that great resource. So always just keep that in mind, that is your job, and that's what they want from you. That's what they're going to be looking to you for. Be proactive and approachable when you're mingling. So, I mean, that's really the biggest thing. It's going to be hard for you at that first time to walk up to some random people and start talking. But by the end of the summer, I mean, if you're proactive and approachable about it, you're going to be really comfortable with it, and you're going to be kind of looking forward to getting to talk to all these new people and hear about their, what they've got going on and their experiences. And then also be mindful of body language. You want to look approachable. And if you're just standing there like this, like looking at the ground, or like having your hands in your pockets, you're not going to be as approachable as if you're just standing there, politely looking up at them, having your hands out in front of you. And then some don'ts of mingling. Don't talk about inappropriate topics. We've already gone over that several times, so we won't beat that dead horse. And then don't stress. That first time, it's going to be a little bit stressful for you. It's totally fine. But after that first time, you get used to it. Just remember that you're that resource for them. You don't need to be stressed about it. They're going to be stressed. So mingling people, you're very comfortable with. And also, don't make up answers or leave them hanging when they ask you a question. And always remember the old AOLP standby. I don't know, but I will find out for you. And then go find out for you.
All right, so we're going to do an activity over mingling. Yay! All right. So what we're going to do after we finish talking to you about this activity, we're going to split up into five groups, 5 people in a group within your color group. So you find 5 people and you form a group. If there's not enough people to make 5 equal groups or equal groups of 5 in your color group, then you can go to other color groups. And then after you make your 5 people in a group, you go find another group from a different color. And then we'll explain it from there. So go.
Right, so go do that.
So what do we do?